Sarganam adi antasya madhyam cha. So, O Arjuna, if you look at, I am indeed in the beginning, the middle, and also at the end. So while discussing this, so we took not Srishti, Sthiti, Pralaya Karanam, but Swarga, Bhutala, and Patala. Swarga means going to Brahmaloka. So above, the topmost, middle, this earth, and going down called Patala. So I am that. And also, among all the Vidyas, I am Adhyatma Vidya. So when this Adhyatma Vidya was being discussed, the main purpose was very clear that this Vidya called self-knowledge gives me understanding of myself. If I understand myself, definitely all other Vidyas becomes beautiful, meaningful. We have seen in details. And Vadaha Pravadatam Aham. Among all sort of discussions, the Vada. So Vada, when we do, as we discussed, keeping ego aside. We have different type of discussions, as we saw, that Jalpa Vitanda, that is more predominant nowadays. And some, that is also we call Chalam, that is another type of Vada. Okay? So Chalam means, you have agenda, with agenda, hidingly you talk something. So that is also another type of Adam, which is very dangerous. Okay? So something is inside you, but you present differently. And especially nowadays, we see more, especially in the social media. So social media, what they present, they say very nicely, never get carried away with the social media photo. You understand? They say not, they say profile photo. I'm sorry, not social media photo, profile photo, okay? So never ever get carried away with profile photo. Because when a person gets carried away with a profile photo, definitely you know better, because everybody does profile photo very with special effect and whatnot, okay? So better be careful. How? And also some people don't put photo at all. That's more dangerous, okay? I notice many people, they don't put photo at all. Means either is a fake account or they are fake. Both way, okay? So anyway, that's each one has got their own problem. Let us not get into that point. So here it says, Vadaha means that keeping ego aside, you get into discussion for truth, to understand truth. So among all discussions, Vadaha, because Samvada, actually it is not a discussion. Samvada is only Guru Shishya, between the teacher and student. The best type of discussion is Samvada, but Samvada we cannot talk all the time. We cannot mention. That's why Vada is being talked. Among friend circles, among many cases, we can exercise Vada concept. We have seen in the introduction classes. Now while discussing, let us go to the next verse. Aksharanam akarosmi Dvanda samasikasya cha ahamevaksheh kalaha dhataham vishvato mukha. Says, look, aham asmi akaraha. When it says aham aksharanam akaraha asmi iti. So among all the letters, I am akara. So how is it possible? This is a beautiful way of looking at. And of course later on it says, let us look at among all samasas. So samasa means compounds. So when two words have been put together, we'll be seeing in details. So compound. So among compounds, I am called Dvanda. dvanda samasa. And of course, aham eva akshayah kalah. So I am the eternal time. And dhataham vishwata mukhaha. So I am the karma phaladata, the dispenser, that which is vishwata mukham, facing all the direction. Now when you look at this first one, aham akaraha asmi iti aksharana. So among all the alphabets, akara is most important. If we try to look at starting with phonetically, the moment you keep your mouth open and allow the sound to go out. So, moment opening mouth, make the sound to go out. Without that, you cannot do anything. Can you see this point? Whether you belong to China or you belong to any other ching chang ding dang, okay, you understand what I am trying to say. It will not work at all. That only akara. That's why we say very carefully that among the alphabet, akara is called karanam, whereas all other alphabet we call karya, product. In fact, in a different, when especially we do akshara nyasa, there when we start and we come back, and also in mahanyasam also we bring it. Akara brahmani namaha iti. Yes. So akara goes to Brahmaji. In mahanyasa it comes. So to understand this point very carefully, that akara become karanam means the source, the cause of all other alphabets, all other letters. That's why, especially when you go to the, call this doctors, especially dentist, what they say? Tell E. You understand? E. That means when E, some type of mouth modulation has to happen. You understand the point what I am trying to say? Open your mouth, whatever sound comes. Whereas E, because the fellow wants to see your teeth, okay? So that means some type of mouth changes have to happen. Without changing your positioning of mouth, can you say anything? Ooh, E. So this A, E, I, O, U, what I call vowels, it doesn't work here, okay? That's why in Sanskrit we start with A. However, let us not get into too much controversies, because you know I have to maintain my controversial situations, okay? Whereas he says, look, among samasas, I am called here Dvanda Samasa. So why I am called Dvanda Samasa? As you know, in every language, these compounds are being used. For example, if I say, I took Ganga bath. So how we write in English? Ganga hyphen bath. You understand? This is how English, okay? Ganga hyphen bath. So we joined these two words. So what does it mean? So I took bath in a river. That river name is called Ganga. Is it clear? So such a long thing, to bring it less or to reduce, to save my time, energy, what I say? I took Ganga bath. Everybody understands. Also, he understands very carefully, contextually also. For example, I went to Shiva temple. So what does it mean? So I went to a temple where the Lord Shiva is a presiding deity. Clear? I went to Shiva temple. Again hyphen. Everywhere is hyphen, okay? Supposed to be. So I went to Shiva temple means I went to a temple where Lord Shiva is the presiding deity. Suppose you happens to be in North India, what will say? I went to Vishnu Mandir. They won't say temple, they will say Vishnu Mandir. So what does it mean? Same thing. I went to a temple, a mandir, where Lord Vishnu is the presiding deity. Nothing wrong in it. But same word, somebody says, I went to Vishnu Mandir. Somebody says, I went to Birla Mandir. Because it's very famous, okay? Birla Mandir. What does it mean? Hey, don't bring your, this grammatical, analytical mind. I went to the temple or mandir where Birla is presiding deity. Don't do that, okay? Please. So what does it mean here is, I went to a temple, that which was built by Birla group. Can you see this point? Birla temple means, I went to a temple, the temple which was being built by Birla group. That's why, because we have many places Birla temple, that's why I'm trying to use this word. So that means, all these samasas, compounds, we do use very carefully, clearly in our day-to-day transaction to reduce our energy, time, also to communicate in a better and effective way. In fact, the more, in English also we say, the more you have, the more you use compounds in your language, in your speech, in your writing, the more you are called educated. That's why I came across a book from my teenage till now also I don't see, but I don't read, I don't want to read, I would rather say I cannot read. That I could not understand one para without a dictionary in teenage time. When I tried to study that para, somehow understood, then next para, and I didn't understand what I studied in past paragraph, okay? Forget about chapter, another chapter. One of the best book to get confused, and the words that person has used is amazing. And those group will say, where Bhagavad Gita ends, there this text starts. So only after completing Bhagavad Gita, you should start, because this is much, much better than, higher than Bhagavad Gita. However, nothing wrong in it. It's their problem, it's not ours, okay? We have to respect them. So if this is the case, what here is, in Sanskrit especially, this compounds plays a very big role in life. Like we use this word called Rameshwaram. So Rameshwaram can be interpreted differently. Ramaha yasya Ishwara, Rameshwara. Or Ramasya Ishwara, Sashti Tatpurusa, CTP, 6TP we write, is called Rameshwara. So that means the first one is that Ramaha yasya Ishwara. So when about Rameshwaram, Lord Shiva was being asked, what do you mean by this word Rameshwara? He says, look, Lord Rama is for whom Ishwara is called Rameshwara. Lord Shiva says, means I am the Shivalinga there. So for me, because Lord Rama established, so for me, who is Ishwara? Who? Rama is Ishwara, is called Rameshwara. Whereas when Rama was asked, do you know what did he say? Ramasya Ishwara is called Rameshwara. The one who is the Lord of Rama is called Rameshwara. And both were right. This is the unique way of looking at Sanskrit. And second thing also in Sanskrit, you have to understand this point, little bit I have to talk. That in Sanskrit, when you make any statement or any sentence, you can change the position of letter anywhere you want to put. For example, that when you say that Rama Ravanam Hanti, Rama killed Ravana. If it is in English, if you change Ravana killed Rama, change the positioning, what will happen? Rama killed Ravana. Suppose you change it, Ravana killed Rama, the whole meaning is changed or not? Whereas in Sanskrit, you can do anything. Rama, Ravana, Ravanam, Rama. You can put anywhere, but meaning is communicated as same. There is no difference at all. So the positioning of the word does not disturb the meaning of the sentence. This is the beauty of Sanskrit language. And when you look at this Sanskrit, especially Samasaha compound, actually we have many number of compounds. Mainly when you look at among these compounds, that mainly from 4, then it is extended to 7, then it comes to 35 compounds. And we have numbers of, okay? So among that, Sashtitas Purusha, Bahuvrihi, we have this Dvandaha. So we have a few compounds which is very popular. Ittarattara Dvandaha, okay? So it goes on and on, okay? So here it says, Dvanda Samasa is most important thing, which will be seen in some time in Sanskrit class, okay? Why and how. So while discussing this thing, then he says, Aham eva akshayah kalah iti. So I am the kalam. I am the kala tattvam iti. So why I am kala tattva? Because that which brings everything to an end. And interestingly, which itself does not have any end. Which puts everything to end, but without having end. That's why I am called Akshayaha. That which is not exhaustible, inexhaustible time. So that means if we observe, anything and everything is getting exhausted or will get exhausted in time. That's why we say the patience is one of the best things to see one's own mind. If you want to see your mind, or if you want to see anybody, look at the patience. Have patience. As I see, sometimes I don't want to talk about you yourself, it's not right. Sometimes I have to look at myself. When I look at myself, my mind. And of course, when I look at you people, always I see the timeline. So in due course of time, how you change, also how I change. Nothing wrong in it. One should change. But while changing, whether there is a consistency or not. So if there is no consistency, but I change a different way, keeps changing, what we call as keeps fluctuating, that means what happens? You know better. So that case, I need to have a patience. And when I have a patience, when I understand this Kala Tattvam, this is the point here. Once I understand Kala Tattvam, what is Kala Tattvam? In time, Remember, everything is getting exhausted. That is what I say, you remember in my childhood joke. Even this shall pass away. So in our school days, I don't know what to say, two teachers in India those days, mainly, were forcing us to mug, to memorize. Everybody does. That's why Indians are very capable of memorizing things. You cannot think of. That is what we have been taught. So one was Sanskrit teacher. Many of us those days we take Sanskrit, not we liked it. To be very honest. We take Sanskrit as language because if you memorize very easily, 60, 70, 80% is just like that you get. In fact, we take Sanskrit to score more mark to get better those division, okay? Getting divisions is Sanskrit is the best tool those days. Whereas if you get into language, Hindi or anything, you are finished. कभी कभी हिंदी आता है, कभी कभी हिंदी आती है. And it's amazing, okay? So this mustache, mustache is feminine, dadi is masculine. It's very confusing Hindi, okay? And we say, I don't want to say, Hindi is a confused language. And Hindi not supposed to be a language, but unfortunately, one fellow made Hindi compulsory. And that is the second popular language in the world. One fellow made a destruction. And that fellow is my favorite fellow, okay? We say Hindi has no background, and Hindi happens to just 300-400 years old language. Hindi didn't have any language, no background, nothing. It's a completely confused language. That's why Kanpur Hindi is different, Bihari Hindi is different, Oriya Hindi is different, Tamil Nadu is interesting Hindi, you cannot think of, okay? But all are right, nobody is wrong. Remember this point also. However, coming back to the point, what I am highlighting here is that how the mind starts fluctuating, and when there is lack of patience in me, now I fluctuate without any understanding or without any link. So when I start fluctuating in this way, that even this shall pass away, I forget. I think that is the ultimate. You understand? This even this shall pass away, remember the story or not? Still once more I can say. Because we have to remember, that's why I jumped it. So there are paragraphs are there, so we have to remember 3 lines, then last will come, even this shall pass away. So we go understand, okay, chant, like 4th stanza. Even this shall pass away. Because first 3 lines, we will be perfectly, last line, okay, we chant properly, other one, nothing. The teacher understood, hey, come here. Show your hand. And with a cane, okay? Teacher used to come with a cane. And sometimes 2 canes, okay? Together. Hit. So I said, okay, even this shall pass away. He started hitting. I said, even this shall pass away. Then he got so fed up with me. I said, even this shall pass away. And if I look at, really, that also passed away, even whatever I am talking today, even this shall pass away. Now, when even this shall pass away, if I remember this, the concept, now will I be able to fluctuate? Will I be able to hold on to my likes and dislikes, my ego? It is almost impossible. But what happens? I think I am Ajara, I am Amara. You understand? Means I will not go through any geriatric problem. Always I am young, I am strong. Young means strong, okay? I am young, I am strong, and I will not go through any change or death. I am immortal. That's why all these demons, devils, or whatever Rakshasas, they were powerful, not because of anything. Holding on to that, I am Ajara and I am Amara. I will not go through any jara, any geriatric problem, nor I am going to go through death. Same thing also a common person does in day-to-day life. When this thought gets into, means forgets this Kala Tattvam, here is highlighted. When you forget the Kala Tattvam, remember in every second I am changing, you are changing, everything is changed. The moment we started class now, there is a change already. Don't expect the same thing to happen. Same thing to continue. It is not going to happen. Whether you like it or not, whether you accept it or not. Even if I want to have my black hair, I cannot get. Yes, I can color it, but it will not look nice either. And I know it is me who has made it black, remember. Even if I want to, I cannot. Remember this point. There are many things, even if you want, you cannot. That's why here is being highlighted that aham eva aksheha kalaha. So in kala tattvam, me being kala tattvam, in time everything is getting destroyed, exhausted, except me, because I am inexhaustible principle. And dhataham vishwato mukham. So I am the giver. Giver of what? Giver of karma phalam. So I am indirectly here karma phala data. And what is that? Who is all pervasive? So all pervasive, here he says, look, who vishwata mukham, whose mukham, mukham means the face, is everywhere. Indirectly says all pervasive. So me being karma phala data, that is what we have to see very nicely and carefully. Because if I am karma phala data, and karma phala data has to be all pervasive. That's why we are, remember this point, I am just a karta, but not karma phala data. Keeping that, in Bhagavad Gita it was being highlighted what? Karmani eva adhikarate ma karma phaleshu. I have right over, I have choice with reference to karma, action, but not with reference to result of action, because I am karta but not karma phala data. So the Ishvaraha is the giver of result. But my problem is, I think not only I am karta, I am also karma phala data. Like there are certain things. I want to create my destiny. Especially all these activists, okay? Each one must create your own destiny. Please? Who says no? Create your own destiny. Wish you all the best. But don't impose your stupidity on others, okay? Because if one fellow gets destroyed, it's better for us. But if that fellow becomes, other way around, creates many cretinis, that is the problem. One cretino or a cretina, no problem, because there are hundreds of cretino cretinas, you are one of them, one among them. But if you create few cretinis with you, you understand what is cretin, okay? If you create few cretinis, that is the problem. There is no doubt in it. However, this is your problem, it is not our problem. That's why we say beautifully that then he says, let us good look at Mrityu Sarva. Oh, time already. Huh? Mrityu Sarvaharashaham Udbhavasya Bhavishyatam Kriti Srivakacanarinam Smriti Medha Dhruti Kshamam. Says beautifully. Also will say Mrityuhu Sarvaharasya Aham iti. I am Mrityuhu. And Mrityuhu, when he says Aham Mrityuhu, and what? I am being death of what? Sarvaharahacha. The destroyer of everything. If you want to take, I am the looter called death. Among all the thieves or looters. How is it? This is best translation, okay? I am the death, Polish language. I am the death among what? All the things that those who take away. Because why? With this we'll stop it. Why? Because when death comes, everything is gone from you. With death, you lose everything. your name, your fame, your people, anything and everything that you have. Others hold on to, but you don't hold on to anything. Can you see this point? People are proud of your name. Like as sometimes you are proud, oh, I belong to this lineage. I belong to this, my grandfather was like this. I belong to Nobel family. What is that Nobel family? So where did this Nobel family start? Hey, somebody must be stupid, it became Nobel. You understand? But if you look at the Nobel families first, how did that fellow become Nobel? I don't want to talk with this, I'll stop it. That in order to become somebody, the first person must have done something, most of the time, okay, very rarely, something wrong. I don't want to tell one best person who happens to be the one of the best person in Indian context. But when they started business in illegal way. And in such a illegal way they started, that fellow was arrested when Britishers were there. Then they discovered so much money is involved. Then finally, the Britishers tried to legalize that illegal things. And with that money, whatever, the person started a huge empire. And now that empire is called very ethical empire. More of it we'll see some other time, please. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.